So we had a couple of people come back and ask me, can you make a video about how to do homework one, the floor plan of my living space, a couple of rooms, and just review again how you use a scale ruler, how we can draw at quarter scale. So I'm just going to make a little quick video here, post this for you to take a look at. Hopefully it's helpful. Let me know. I'm switching my screen so you can see what I'm drawing here. I've got my drafting table set up. I'm ready to put my paper in here. I can use tape to put this down. I can just lock that into place. Basically, what I want to make sure is that I am square. I like to draw with my piece of paper square. So I'm just going to line that up with my T-square. Make sure that it looks right there. Cool. Now, what I have already done is walk around my room with a measuring tape and found myself saying, well, this, I've got kind of this oddball shaped room, kind of like that. And I measure these things, and this one is 22 feet long. And this one is 10 feet long, and this one is 3 feet long. And this one here, this is 5. So this one is 17, and this one is 13. So I've kind of gone around my room and done this rough sketch. None of this is to scale. None of this is accurate. All I'm doing at this point is gathering information and collecting it. So now I've got that. Now what I want to do is to start put together this drawing and in scale at 1/4 inch to a foot scale using my tools. So I've got my horizontal T-square lined up. I want to draw a 22-foot long line right here, that one, in 1/4 scale right here. So the first thing I have to do is get to the point where I'm looking at my 1/4 scale. 3/16, well, that's no help. 1/4 scale, there it is. So you have to flip this guy around until you find the right scale. There's a bunch of different information on here. So this is 1/4 scale, and what we want to do is to start drawing at this point right here. That's the 0 point to start drawing. I don't want to start back here. I do not want to start back here. I want to start here at 0 and start counting. And I hit the first number, I say 92. That makes no sense. That's because there are 2 scales on this side of the ruler. The long lines, where that's 0, 2, 4, 6, those are 1/4 scale lines. But on the other end of the ruler, you'll see there's an 1/8 scale. The short lines, there's this short little 0, are the 1/8 scale rulers. So 2, 4, 6, 8, the short lines. So that's where that 92 comes from. That is the end of the 1/8 scale ruler, 92 feet in 1/8 scale. But we're working in 1/4 scale. So we're working with this scale right here. So there's my 0 point right there. 2, 4, 6, 8, all the way up to, there's my 22 right there. So that's how I use this ruler. By the way, we're going to get fussier with it. This back here, this is 1 foot marked out in as many increments as they can give you in 1/4 scale. So if that's a foot, then that right there is going to be 6 inches. That's 3 inches. There's 2, there's 1. We can actually draw individual inches at 1/4 scale in this size. But as I said earlier, basically we're at 1/4 scale. We're saying 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot in 1/4 scale. You can check that with your steel ruler and say, hey, look at that. This is 1/4 of an inch. And that lines up with that to say, yep, that's 1/4 of an inch. Look at that. So 1/4 of an inch equals 1 foot in 1/4 scale. So what I'm going to do is put this down here and then draw my 22-foot long line right here. 0 right there. I start drawing my line. I start pulling my line. Drafting literally means pulling. Like draft beer, you pull the handle to get draft beer, or a draft horse. So 0 to 22, that's a 22-foot long line in 1/4 scale. Then what I want to do is get my vertical 13 feet right here. I go back over here, line that up so I've got a vertical on that edge. And then here, because my ruler is so, it's jammed against the edge here, I can't draw in there. So what I'm going to do is find my 13, start back here at 0 again, count up, and there go 12, 14, the long line in between there is 13. So 13 is right there. I'm going to put that on my spot so I know that lines up with the end of my 22-foot long line. And then I'm going to bring my T-square and my triangle in so that I can line those up and make sure that that's really straight and square. And then I can use, it's not quite there yet. There we are. Let's be fussy, shall we? Let's be fussy. And then draw my 0 to 13 right there. So there's the beginning of my drawing. I can continue on with that. One thing I would like you to do is to add in dimensions just a little ways away. We'll get fussier about this stuff as we go, about things like line weights and distances. But for now, this is good. And then just pull a vertical and a vertical, leave a gap, and then we write 13 in here like that. And if you really want to get fussy, we'll put little 45-degree hatch marks on the ends to indicate this goes from here to here. That's the end of that. I would also like you to draw in furniture at scale, any like a table or a bed or a whatever you got, a sink, things like that. But hopefully that makes sense in terms of how to do project one, or homework one rather. If you find yourself without a scale ruler, you don't have this guy, as I said, in quarter scale, 1/4 of an inch equals a foot. So I can use a regular ruler instead of a scale ruler if I don't have a scale ruler. I can lay this down and say, if I'm supposed to draw a 22-foot long line at quarter scale, I just have to have 22 1/4 inches. So there are 4 1/4 inches, of course, in a foot. So if I start counting and just go, there's 4 1/4 inches, there's 8, there's 12, 16, 20, 21, 22 1/4 inches. Funny thing, it's the same length as that line above because it's 22 1/4 inches. Or in my quarter scale ruler, it's 22 feet long. So either way, if you've got a scale ruler, you can do it. If you've got a regular ruler, you can also do it. Hopefully that's clear and makes a ton of sense, and you are all over it in terms of your homework. Yell if you have more questions. Happy to make another vid. See ya.